the GC there, trying to target the ACU Big Bang, but just hitting the ground. You just, just see him there peeking over the top of the cliff. How are we doing, folks? My name is Paraplegic Sloth, and welcome along to episode 31 of the Supreme Commander Forged Alliance Forever Community Cast Library. Last week I made you guys slum it out with all of the Joes, including yours truly. This week we're going to elevate the perspective just a little bit. It's not quite a full pro match. There are a few Joes involved as well, but nevertheless there's some quality stuff on show. So let's get things rolling, and here we go. Hello and welcome along to the 10x10 map Canis River, a map that needs no introduction. We're going to kick things straight off here, and at the top we've got Team 1 and at the bottom will be Team 2. Starting off with the players for Team 1. Coming in at 1100 it is Tathiel going UEF. Next up for Team 1 going yellow and Aeon. Coming in at 1100 it is Fior. Thirdly for Team 1 we have Foden going his traditional shitty shade of teal, coming in at 1800. Next up we have Death Squad, also coming in at 1800 in his traditional shade of cyan. And over on the right extremity of Team 1 going Aeon and coming in at 1700 it is Gorton. And then lastly for Team 1 we have the 1200 rated Maximus going UEF. So we finished off on Maximus because everyone on Team 1 apart from Maximus is going a traditional kind of Canis Hydro Rush. So we can just see there, I don't know if you just call that on camera, but the four players there are the Tathiel, Fior, Foden and Death Squad do a perfectly executed walk at the same time, synchronized movements of base building here, apart from Maximus. So Maximus has opened up 3 of his core maxes, and then he's going into the Hydro. A little bit of a strange build, and it looks like then he's got a footprint queued up for second air factory, and his second engineer is going to open up the 4th core max, and we've got a scout going out now. So I think that about wraps things up for Team 1. So a very standard opening for most people on Team 1. Let's go ahead and take a look at Team 2. And for Team 2, starting on the left extremity of the map, coming in at 1500, it is Big Bang who is going Seraphim. Next up, we have Illuminate 1 who's gone super sexy Cybran and comes in at 1900, the replay's highest rated player. Thirdly, for Team 2, coming in at 1500, it is Bucky VTS who's also going Seraphim. Fourthly, for Team 2 going Aeon and coming in at 1000 it is Desert Wolf, and I think Desert Wolf there was just procrastinating for a few valuable seconds, as he's literally 3 or 4 seconds behind completing his factory to everybody else. Anyway, penultimately for Team 2 going Aeon and coming in at 1600 it is Stock Shock. And there's a little bit of a miscue there on Stock Shock's walk order, unfortunately. It happens. And then lastly for Team 2 going Aeon, coming in at 1100 it is Jesse. Everyone on Team 2 apart from Desert Wolf and Jesse going a traditional first factory Hydro Rush. Of course, Stock Shock there just having to correct a little bit of a micro mishap, but he's going to be just fine. So let's take a quick peek at these two. Not quite sure why they both went first air, but going first air and then opening up with some T1 P-Gens. Jesse getting his P-Gens in around his air factory. If you're going to open first air, why don't you just do it directly off the Hydro? I don't think everybody knows that actually if you just stick the air factory this side of the Hydro, the commander will actually build it without walking. It's a good thing to know, and it gives you immediate adjacency to the Hydro, but I don't think Jesse does know that in this instance, and he's gone for a couple of very early mechs upgrades there. I still see no air units from these two, and actually there's a bomber just coming in there from Gorton, and that kind of exemplifies my curiosity as to why these two have opened up first there. So Gorton on Team 1 going first land has a very early bomber out and gets it down into the bottom right hand corner of Team 2, taking out some engineers with the T1 bomber, and there's still not a single air unit being produced by Jesse, but this is a good place to kick things off, I think, as well. Bit of early bomber shenanigans. We've got early expansion heading out, as you'd perhaps expect. Let's just bump things up a little bit. I don't think there's any more bomber shenanigans going on just yet. And we've got some T2, so Gorton's going T2 on his comm. Foden has kind of crossed the invisible border between he and his opposing team and has decided to try and take a more forward and aggressive position, and actually having completed that land factory, he's just kind of like marching straight up into the face of where Jesse is trying to set up his forward production area. And something that changes, the dynamic of this map changes when you go from 5v5 to 6v6, because 6v6 adds this extra person in on the top and diagonal corners expansion area, and instead of that area being the strength of the team, it actually becomes the weakness. So what we've got here is it's created a 2-on-1 situation, a natural 2-on-1 situation on both flanks, and Foden very aware of that, it seems, and he's forward straight away, applying pressure to Jesse, and then Gorton backing things up, fortifying just behind the right arm of Foden, and Jesse already having to abandon his position and fall back to safer territories. Over on the left hand side, we've got a similar situation brewing where Illuminate 1 and Big Bang are looking to push forward and apply pressure to Tathiel, but actually Team 1 offering some support to Tathiel, and Fior and Maxima have pushed up their ACUs, but actually Illuminate 1 almost single-handedly is shooing away the two ACUs of the aforementioned T1 players, and Fior and Maximus now just organising between themselves a tactical retreat. Maximus stepping behind the line of fire, taking the cover of his teammate, and Illuminate 1 accepting that he's just owned the situation and claims an additional T1 mechs as his spoil. Early air game, we've got Fior, who's got some decent number of interceptors online, and he is into the production of mercies as well, although he's not exactly leaving them in a particularly good place. And if we just jump into Team 2 now, there we just see the scouts going over the mercies. Who did I jump into? Baki into a power stall, fortuitously picked up, and Team 2 there sending their air in straight away, not messing around, taking out the couple of mercies that were there. So poor positioning from Fire. If you're going to build mercies, I know they don't have much fuel, but at least stash them somewhere where you've got a decent chance where they're not going to be easily scouted. Back over on the right hand side, and Foden onto his first ACU upgrade of the match, going gun, and he is receiving assistance from Gorton. Gorton is setting up a more fortified position, having gone T2 early on, is now getting some Oblivion turrets up online, and Stockshop for Team 2 has pushed into the vicinity to try and reinforce Jesse, but I think it's very much a little bit too late here, and I think actually Stockshock is just forward with his ACU trying to gather some reclaim before he too withdraws. Stockshock unupgraded on his ACU just yet. And Death Squad has moved forward. He's been pretty quiet so far. He's not gone for a spam centric opening. He's moved forward. He's teched up to T2, and he's got an early TML launcher online. Has he got any kills with that yet? No, he hasn't, but he does have a missile in the tube, so I think Death Squad is trying to get 2 missiles in the tube just to give himself a little bit of a surprise edge, lessen the reaction time of any Team 2 member getting some TMD up. And actually the TML is en route now, and it looks like he's going for a capped T2 max belonging to Bocky. We'll just enjoy the view for this one. And just there, Bucky just 10 seconds or so away from saving his Cap T2 mech there, just getting the TMD up online, but it'll probably make itself worthwhile on this one. So Death Squad also going for his second volley on another T2 Cap mechs, but obviously the TMD stopping it at the second time of asking. So good play there by both players. Death Squad looking to be a nuisance, as he often does, and managing to do that, but just a little bit of a lack of scouting there. He didn't see the second one failed to reach its target, so he could have potentially saved himself launching the third. He's still got some mexes in the forward area that he could easily take out. There are going to be two more T2 Cap mexes pretty soon there for him to take a look at over on the left side, and things have fortified just a little bit, and we've actually got some TML online for Big Bang as well, and his TML launcher actually has 5 kills. So actually Big Bang taking a pop at Tathiel's ACU there. I don't know why people like to do that, but there's no way that Big Bang's gonna get the kill there with one TML launcher, but you've still just got to launch that one missile at your enemy's ACU. It's a big fuck you. I love it. Death Squad deploying a mobile missile launcher just at the edge of the central river, trying to range and snipe these T1 mexes belonging to Baki. And we've got some Corsairs being stashed up in the middle now by Illuminate One. And with that in mind, we've got a couple of exposed comms here, so pretty much everyone apart from everyone on the left hand side of the map is vulnerable to some kind of T2 air snipe here. Tathiel on the left side has already had several thousand hit points evaporated from his ACU count, courtesy of Big Bang. But also we've got two comms pretty exposed in the middle here, Fire and Maximus, who are trying to offer some kind of pressure up onto the left side of the map, but not really being very effective. And we've got Corsairs now moving forward from Illuminate One. We've got Mercies coming up from Jesse and T2 gunship. So this looks like the making of a very well coordinated strike on Team 1, and it looks like that Fire and Maximus are right in the firing line, and the Mercies come in on Fire and they're going to get through, and Fire going down, and Maximus Maximus being taken out. I think that was caused by the explosion of his teammate, the gunships, and the Corsairs taking Maximus right to the brink. And then I just think Fire's pop just finished the matter off, and Team 1 being gouged a huge wound in the first 13 minutes here, losing 2 of their Joes from the team. They've got 1 Joe left. So very well coordinated T2 air snipe there from Illuminate One, Jesse and Stockshock. The air player, who's actually Desert Wolf, really not doing very much so far. And actually a good time to take a quick eco check. So economy right now, top of the charts is Death Squad with a generated income of 87 a tick. In second place, snapping at his heels, is Foden on 84, and in third place, and actually we're going back a fair ways here, is Big Bang on 67. Illuminate One's only on 57. That's surprising to me. That's a little bit surprising to me. Maybe the Corsair production just is taken out of Illuminate One's economy efforts, and there's an air battle ensuing over the top here, and Big Bang has actually pushed through the central gap created by the 2 players of Fire and Maximus being killed, and Big Bang looking to bypass the fire base erected by Tafiel and cut in behind and just take out a T2 Max and a couple of factories, just generally be a nuisance. We've got some Zuis being projected across the river to assault another forward position, and this is encroaching on the area of Death Squad's central base. So Death Squad moving across some engineers to try and put up some PD, and Bocky here just deciding to go toe to toe with 3 or 4 point defense here. He's got gun and T2 on his comm, no nano yet, but Bocky deciding that was not a good idea and backs away. So we are into T3 air now. Foden seems to be taking the air responsibility for his team. For Team 2, Desert Wolf has his T3 air factory, but still making the kind of required T3 P-gen. So we'll just jump into Foden. So Desert Wolf's got no ASF right now, and Foden is up to 6. Also, given the point difference between these two, I think that's already going to be a problem on the horizon for Team 2. I'm just taken aback at how passive Team 2 are being here. So they've taken out 2 members, but they weren't the best 2 members you want to take out of a team, because you're giving double eco to 2 1800s when you've essentially only taken out an 11 and a 12. And if you're going to do that, you really need to be on the front foot and pushing these guys, but Team 2 just don't have the means to do that right now, it seems. They're all kind of trying to dig in, and I mean, Bocky's forward and he's trying to be a nuisance, but he's not really got anything to pressurize Death Squad. Death Squad's just parked himself over onto the left center of the land bridge on the river. He's put up a pretty cheap fire base as he fills out and gets his double eco up and running. There's lots of reclaim popping around the map as well, and various members of Team 1 going about sucking that up. On the left extremity, Tathiel still going square toe to toe with Big Bang. Big Bang now on his 2nd gun upgrade, so that's going to be nano and double gun for Big Bang. Almost full tripod mode there for the Seraphim ACU. And let's just bump the speed up a little bit here. We're just going into a bit of a lull. Team 1 happy to accept the lull and rebuild. Team 2, I'm not sure what Team 2's game plan is. I keep coming in to look at Desert Wolf. He hasn't even capped his T2 maxes yet. This is a problem for Team 2. They've taken out 2 opposing members, but I kind of feel like that Desert Wolf definitely is almost playing for Team 1. I mean that in the non-dickish sense possible, but Desert Wolf just not offering any kind of service to his team. He's not contributing. And Team 1 starting to get a bit more aggressive now. Foden coming forward with a couple of broadswords, going on to the commander of Stockshock. Stockshock does have double Aeon shield on his ACU, so he's not going to be too troubled by that. But what is happening is an air battle has ensued over the top of Stockshock's commander, and actually it's not Team 2's designated air player, it is Illuminate 1, so maybe Illuminate 1 taking up the air responsibility for his team. Desert Wolf seems to be doing a little bit of a mass donation on the right extremity, pushing up some Auroras to be sacrificed to the firebase of Gorton. So the air battle comfortably won by Foden, and let's just check back in. So Foden now up to 21 ASF, so Illuminate 1 being now the de facto air player for Team 2 is at 7 ASF. And if we just look at, let's just take a look at Desert Wolf, see if he's got anything. He's got 2 ASF at minute 19. And there's a push now going up the left flank, and Big Bang is balls deep in here onto a push onto Tafiel, and Tafiel is going to evaporate. And now we can see the power of the double gun ACU of Big Bang. And that's Team 1's third ejection of the match. They really have to try and capitalise on this now. Big Bang pulling his ACU back, probably in fear of air reprisal. He will be aware that his team is behind in air. But also Death Squad now looking to push forward with some Harbingers, and I'm just looking around the front lines of the left area for Team 2, and I'm not seeing too much that's going to repel this push should Death Squad decide to become aggressive. Big Bang's just about remade the safety of his firebase, so he's now up to his 4th level of veterancy. I imagine he'll probably go double nano pretty soon, having already gone the double gun. Team 2 need to come up with something, and pretty soon. I know it's 3 versus 6, right, in the favour of Team 2, but I don't feel like that this is a problem particularly for Team 1. They're just going about their business, they're filling out the bases, or the base. There's a huge gap on the left side, but it is protected around the flank by the body of water. The only thing that Big Bang could perhaps do is do some Zooey spam, or maybe the Yenzines, the T2 hover tanks that Seraphim have access to. But there's no way that they're going to get through Death Squad's firebase there on the left centre with what they've got currently. And the air game going to be ever more menacing for Team 2 as things move forward. Foden continuing ASF production. He's now up to 38 ASF. There's just a nice scout going out over by Foden, checking out the opposing team to see what's going on. And just checking in with Desert Wolf here, and he's managed to cap his T2 maxes. And he is into some ASF production. So Big Bang did try a push up the left side with some Zooies, but Death Squad just using the group of T3 and T2 units he got to counter that and push that back. So Team 2 still really struggling to get a critical breakthrough on Team 1. They need to kill one of the big 3, one of the 3 remaining. If they can get the scalp of Gorton, Death or Foden, then they're going to have a chance. Is that TML going in on the comm of Stock Shock? So Stock Shock there just taking 2 TML missiles square to the face. Again with the double shield on the Aeon comm. There's no way that was going to kill him, but it's always good just to remind your opponent that you're there. And Big Bang looking to try and get some kind of penetration through, and maybe just accepting the kill of a T2 radar at this point as some kind of small victory. And Big Bang is on the predicted double nano upgrade as we speak, but it looks like he's having some issues perhaps. He's got a big mass stall on at the moment. Let's go ahead and check back in with Illuminate 1 on his air count. So Illuminate 1 now up to 27 ASF, and actually what's happening is Desert Wolf is feeding Illuminate 1 ASF as Desert Wolf makes some, which is probably a wise decision. But Foden now just pushing his ASF clear across the map. Nothing other than to clear the air for his team once again, maintain air superiority. And Illuminate 1, the micro, the turns are better on Foden's side. They're much better in getting behind the formation of Illuminate 1's ASF. And again, Team 2 have all of their air stripped away. There's now a push of sorts being edged forward by Gorton. And Gorton looking to get through this area to take out some mexes being put up by Desert Wolf. There's a very tasty, vulnerable T2 Cat Mex here. Jesse is going to divert Harbinger northward to try and help Desert Wolf defend that position. Jesse with his ACU is back over on the right side. He's trying to PD creep Gorton's fire base with some Oblivion turrets. Oh, we do have a nuke launcher up for Team 1, and Gorton's got the structure done. The tube is about 20% charged. Have we got any kind of similar shenanigans brewing on Team 2? There's a chicken that's just about to finish from Baki. Now that might be able to do some damage. I'm not sure what Team 1 have got. Well, they've just finished a GC, so that pretty much cancels out the chicken, assuming that they end up in the same area of the map. And speaking of chickens, there's now a mini one trudging its way forward, and we could just see in the distance there the GC coming around. Of course, Big Bang won't be able to see that, and there goes a move ping. So Baki telling Big Bang that the GC is there, that his teammate is walking right into the face of the GC, and I don't think Big Bang, there we go, now he heeds the move ping. There's also a lot of assault bots there laying down some fire on the 50k, well 47k HP ACU of Big Bang. And Death Squad's just got a move order with that GC up to a defensive kind of perimeter edge. He's not going to be too aggressive with the GC yet, it seems. Baki just saying in team chat nuke, and Baki with his chicken is edging forward and accompanied by quite a lot of T2 AA. Oh, there's also a GC finish from Stock Shock, and that's going to make his way forward. And that GC does look like it could potentially have quite a lot of success here, and Gorton's ACU is still in the forward fire base, so there's a very good chance here that Stock Shock can really start to penetrate the forward lines of T1 with the GC. The chicken looking like it's going to cross the river in the middle and take out a fire base, or not really a fire base, it's just a forward position that Death Squad left a while ago. Death Squad now starting to redivert his units southward, and Gorton being a little bit slow in withdrawing his ACU in the face of the GC. The GC is now pushed through into the fire base put up by Gorton and Foden, and the micro is not particularly great. There's not much target allocation, and now the GC is just being sent forward here, so it looks like the GC is now taking up a pursuit of Gorton's ACU. It's really not worth hanging around here for Stock Shot just to clear out what little there is there. And they need to be careful here, Team 1, because this is a real problem. The GC pushing up the right side. Foden started to scramble some strap bombers now, and he's not wasting any time in sending them forward, but right now they're just taking out a couple of Offham tanks which have been snuck through by Baki. The chicken from Baki is being pulled back to a more defensive position, as is the GC of Death Squad. And there's the nuke going out from Gorton and being targeted in the middle of the 3 bases of Illuminate 1, Desert Wolf and Bocky. I'm really not keen about where that target selection is. Oh, and the GC caught up with Gorton's ACU and it's taking him out, and the nuke lands in the Team 2 core bases, and the nuke doesn't even take out the SMD belonging to Bocky. I think that was quite a poor nuke in my opinion. I mean, Desert Wolf, greatest of respect, but he's not done anything in this game. Why would you waste any destructive power taking out the economy of someone who's not having the best game? Surely, I don't know, maybe take out Bocky, or if you feel like you're about to die, take out Illuminate ones, but take out the whole base of Bocky or Illuminate 1, taking 3 mexes off Bocky, 2 off Illuminate 1 and 2 off Desert. I don't know. Answers on a postcard. And now the GC, having completed its a assassination venture into enemy territory, starts to make its way homeward. A little bit of a fire in the bum there. Probably will get unceremoniously control K'd and recycled into something newer and shinier. Back over on the left side, and we've got a push coming from Big Bang again, and Big Bang still primarily relying on T1 units, and Death Squad not having any problems just forwarding a pocket of Harbingers just to deal with that. So still no penetration really on the left hand side, but they've got one of the big 3 scalps. There's a huge gap that's opened up on the right hand side, and Team 2, it's 6 versus 2. They really need to make this count now. And Death Squad just in full defensive mode here, holding the forward lines. He's got a second GC online, a third one halfway done. Don't know if there's any point taking an eco check right now, but let's go ahead and do it anyway. So as you'd perhaps expect, Death Squad at the moment with pretty much 3 bases on a generated income of 434. In second place, it's Foden on 256. Big Bang for Team 2 tops the charts for his team on 228. In second place for Team 2, it is Stock Shock on 161, and Illuminate 1 still really kind of behind on the eco game here on 154. And the second nuke comes out from Team 1, and that, as much as anything, is why the first one was so poor. If he'd taken out all of Bocky's base, including the SMD, the second one was cleared to go wherever it wanted to. And we just had a push there from 2 GCs, so it looks like, sorry I missed that, but it looks like Bocky pushed forward the chicken to try and do something, and Death Squad's just countered that very easily with the 2 GCs. So a bit of a mass donation there by Bocky, and they're just talking about it in team chat now, and Bocky is saying, "You told me to attack, so I attacked." So explaining why Bocky was a little bit careless with his chicken. There's another GC moving up from Stock Shock. Both teams seem to be angling toward and favouring GC production right now. Death Squad's got his third one online. I'm not sure why this one in the red is being sent forward. And Stock Shock has managed to get a pocket of engineers right up into the top right hand corner here, and he's reclaiming the former base of Gorton, but there's still no real aggression from Team 2. It's 2 versus 6, and Death Squad and Foden still don't look under real pressure right now. Jesse has got a party of Harbingers forward, But Foden's already countering with half a dozen Percys. And if Foden can get those Percys grouped up together in a place to converge with the Harbingers, combine that with the Strat Bombers, the Ambassadors that Foden was going to send in, but Illuminate One's chucked in his ASF. He's giving the Harbingers as much support as he can, and Foden caught a little bit napping there with his ASF, and a nice in and out mission by Illuminate One. He takes out the Strat Bombers and he pulls out his ASF instantly without engaging Foden's, so a nice executed operation there by Illuminate One. And the Harbingers now start to make their way through the choke point, approaching the core area of Team 1's bases from the right hand side, but they're going to run into the Percivals, and the Percivals start to group up, and as you can see, they're really not going to have too much trouble dealing with the Harbingers. Just a couple of volleys from each Percy and it absolutely shreds them. So another failed attempt of breaching the core areas of Foden and Death Squad, and Death Squad now with another GC online. Death Squad has pushed forward here now. He's starting to get aggressive. He looks like he's clearing out the left hand side. There is a chicken coming forward from Big Bang, but the chicken's outnumbered, and the Strat's coming in as well from Big Bang, and this is going to aim at the weaker of the two. It wasn't the weaker of the two actually. And there's a couple of Mercies there being chucked in on the other GC, and the chicken now, if he can get within range of both of these GCs, it will be able to kill it. But there's a shitload of sniper bots as well peppering the chicken as it gets forward, and one of the GCs goes down and the second one surely won't be far behind. Big Bang trying to get a T3 mobile shield gen to cover the chicken, but it just bumps off some units and fails to cover the chicken, and 700 hit points left on that GC. Oh, and there's another huge air fight now taking between Foden and Illuminate One. The turns look good from both players. Oh, but Foden there, look at that turn, he's firing all the way around, and Illuminate One's not managed to get his ASF pointing in the right direction. And the last 10-15 seconds of that engagement went terribly wrong for Illuminate One. There's a little bit of luck involved in that, but the turns from Foden were absolutely perfect. So Team 1 still with an iron fist on air control. 36 ASF for Foden. Taking a look at Illuminate One, and he is down to 13, and I'm pretty sure everyone in Team 2 is just instantly donating their ASF to Illuminate One, so there's no need to check anybody else. Jesse is making some strats. I've never seen a 2v6 that looks so one-sided. Foden now starting to push out from his core area with the Percivals. Stockshock has been trying to fortify the top right hand corner where all that reclaim is. He's not really been reclaiming, he's been building PD, the T1 PD at that against Percivals. There's no contest there. Maybe Stockshot would have been better served at just reclaiming as much of that as possible, I don't know. And another air battle now between Foden and Illuminate One, and Illuminate One's really had no time to recuperate the numbers of ASF that it lost in the battle a few moments ago, and Foden once again easily dispatching, emerging victorious from another air fight. And there are now 3 GCs from Death Squad. These are 3 fairly healthy newer GCs. The damaged ones are being taken to the back of the base and killed and recycled into new and shiny ones. Oh, and there are 3 GCs moving up from stock shock as well now. And Foden just pushing forward there to take out a few strat bombers that are left lingering around in an unsafe area. And Team 2 seem to be in the business of making quite a lot of strats, but with no real attempt to take air control and make use of the strats. And there's a quite sizable herd of Percivals now making their way south for the winter into Team 2 territory. And everything running away. And strats coming over from the central Team 2 area now from Jesse, heading toward the general direction of the GCs from Death Squad, which have pushed all the way down into approaching the bottom left hand corner. And Foden's coming forward now to take out these strats, and there's a lot of strats going in there on that GC, and Illuminate one's in behind the formation of Foden's ASF, but Foden with a tight turn, a shimmy and a wabang, if that's even a word, taking out the ASF of Illuminate one and all of the strat bombers sent forward by Jesse. Well, there's just a few straggling strat bombers, but they won't be alive much longer. And yet more strat bombers coming in from Big Bang as well, but both GCs miraculously still alive here, and Death Squad is into sensitive areas of Big Bang's base, and he takes out an SMD. Indeed, that was the SMD for Big Bang's bottom corner. One of the GCs is down, but the other one has got over 95,000 hit points and is going to run riot in Big Bang's core area. And Big Bang with his ACU now is just hiding behind the bottom of this cliff here. He's just biding his time, waiting for that GC to hit low enough health. Remember that Big Bang does have double gun, double nano on his ACU. It is a mini chicken with 47,000 HP, and the GC there trying to target the ACU of Big Bang, but just hitting the ground. You just just see him there peeking over the top of the cliff. And now the GC's low enough, and the ACU comes out from his cover, and it's going to take out the GC. Death Squad is going to reprioritize the GC to fire on Big Bang, but there's no way he's going to get through that in time. GC will go down fairly comfortably there. Back in the middle, we've got more GCs milling around from Stock Shock, and that's 4 GCs now for Stock Shock. We've got some severe T4 brute force brewing in the middle, and Death Squad coming forward with 5 of his own GCs. Foden supporting from the skies with an iron grip on air control. There's a 5th GC from Stock Shock making its way forward. And we're about to have a colossal staring competition. It is Forged Alliance inaugural stare off. Basically, you make as many GCs as you can within the allotted time. You send them all to the middle of the map. They look at each other in a mean and menacing way, and then whoever has GCs left at the end is proclaimed the victor. And I can't... How much mass is that going to donate? 20, 40, 60, 8. So there's going to be about 200,000 reclaim in the middle by the time this battle actually takes place and finishes. So Stock Shock looking like he's got the better here. It's now going to be a 2-on-1 GC in the favour of Stock Shock, but Death Squad's got 2 more coming up from the rear. So Stock Shock might be thinking he's just about to win the most epic land battle that Canis has seen for a while. Not the most riveting land battle, I will grant you, but there's a lot of firepower and hit points involved here. But Death Squad, right at the end of the battle, just rocks up with 2 more brand spanking new GCs and says, do you think you won that? I think not. And Illuminate 1 looking like they're comparable air numbers here. I was just about to check air numbers there, but Foden just edging his ASF in. We can do it quickly now. So we've got 74 ASF on the field for Illuminate 1. Let's go ahead and take a look at Foden. And it's 87, so the numbers are much more even now. Bear in mind that all of Team 2 have been handing off their ASF to Illuminate 1 for his micro. Quite a chunk of those ASF have come from Desert Wolf, so not completely doing nothing. The GCs now, the victorious 2 GCs from the Battle Royale of the inaugural Forged Alliance stare-off. The victors make their way forward from the podium. How much reclaims there? 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. So yeah, about 300,000 reclaim there, I reckon. That's not bad. That's not bad for one land battle. And now the GCs make their way to the forward base, breaking down the front door of Team 2. And there's a nuke that's being popped out here, and the nuke's going for the ACU of Jesse, which is hidden in the middle. The SMD belonging to Bocky has been taken out, and there's a megalith online here, but Illuminate 1's ACU is stood right in the firing line, so the megalith is not going to have any time to recover the situation, and Death Squad takes out Illuminate 1, and the nuke launched at Jesse's ACU. Jesse hasn't moved, and Jesse's gonna go down to the nuke as well, and a 6v2 situation. Of course, the 2 become... I mean, is it too soon to say victorious? I can't see any other outcome. It's still 4 versus 2 in the favour of Team 2, but I just don't see any way through this now. In all areas of the map, Team 2 are buckling. And Desert Wolf, the ASF are transferred back over to Desert Wolf's control, but Foden just swooping in and mopping them up. And I think Stock Shock there throwing out a Control K, and Illuminate 1 just saying there in open chat, Desert Wolf did nothing but block mass all game. It's a bit harsh to say that about a 1K player, but that's the problem when you play mixed games like this where you've got pros and Joes. The real mistake made in the match was that Team 2 took out the Joes on Team 1. And I'm still saying this, talking like Team 2 have lost, but they're still a man up. Well, they were. So Bocky going down to a GC now, and now it's just Big Bang and Desert Wolf, and surely game over. Game over. And we've got the mini chicking of Big Bang just hanging out at the front of his base now. Full VAT, over 50k HP. Doesn't know what to do with it. I was the only one pushing them all game, says Big Bang. I think Stock Shock and Big Bang pulled their weight in this one. Illuminate 1, I thought Illuminate 1 had quite an ineffective game. I mean, I know he's against Foden. I don't know, it's tricky, isn't it? Because he's a similar rank to Foden. Foden's got double eco over him. It's perhaps unfair to say that that was unfair. Unfair to say that, what? I don't know. But the two, Foden and Death Squad there, I mean, you'd say what a comeback, but it never felt like it was a comeback. It never felt like they were going to lose that game. I mean, 2 versus 6, and they were still just going about their business. So let's take a look at the stuff. So 3 kills for Death Squad. 1 kill for Foden. Foden played really well, perhaps deserves more than the 1 kill. Taking a look at the categories, fairly straightforward. Death Squad taking mass income, Foden taking the rest of power, built and kills. In terms of man of the match, well, there's only 2 choices here. Death Squad or Foden, take your pick. I'm going to give this one to Death Squad, partly because he always moans he's never man of the match. And this time he's earned it. Great performance on the front line, holding back pretty much the entirety of the left flank and central areas for his team, Team 1. So great performance, great teamwork really between Death Squad and Foden all the way throughout. It felt like a seamless partnership between the two and a thoroughly deserved and earned victory. Right guys, thank you very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed that. Please don't forget to give the content your support if you enjoyed it. You know what to do. And as always, I'll catch you in the next one. Take care.